Welcome to Witches of Workshop, a writing community podcast. I'm Lauren.
I'm Caroline, and this is where we brew better stories together. So if you want to be critiqued on the podcast, just send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's get started.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Hello.
Don't you
Well,
feel like...
you don't feel like it's been a minute,
Oh.
but we feel like it's been a minute.
It's been a minute since we recorded. I'm excited.
We've been really busy bringing the show to you guys.
That's right. And every time I listen to us, I'm just like, wow, we ate.
Doing it.
Doing so good.
We've definitely gotten less cringe, or maybe we've gotten really
More comfortable at being cringe.
and we're just like, okay,
We're just doing it. And
this is
you
who
can
he is.
take it or leave it.
We hope you take it.
Exactly. And rate it 5 stars while you're at it. Never forgetty. Oh, it's great to be back.
That's a girl. What's brewing?
Up? What's brewing?
In that life cauldron of yours.
Well, the life cauldron. It sounds like we're both like in spring cleaning, spring decorating mode, because very important. I got a beanbag chair, everyone. Okay. And I know, listen to me. I know. I'm self-aware enough to know there's not any interior designer worth their salt that's like, you should get a beanbag chair that'll absolutely spruce up your space and make it look more fancy. But I say, to heck with fancy and to yes with whimsy. Like, sometimes you just gotta get what's comfy and cute.
What does that lady say? Like, yeah, not for you, you unwhimsical bitch. Like, you know what? Then fine. They don't deserve your
fine.
beanbag chair.
Exactly. So I did a lot of searching, and the ones that I liked were either obscenely expensive or didn't look comfortable. And I had to find a happy medium, and I love this beanbag chair. It's low to the ground. My knees are like up to my hips when I sit on it. It looks absurd. It's awesome. I love it. So, wow, I just talked for like a whole minute about my beanbag chair. That's what to do. Is like redecorating.
Linked below.
Honestly, Amazon affiliate, let me know if you want. And I got some new curtains and some new houseplants, and I did hit a new running personal record, 7 miles.
Oh my
stopping or
gosh.
passing out.
That's 7 miles more than I have ever ran in my life.
That's
so
big for me.
impressive.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You've also been doing a lot of like revamping your life kind of
Papa
vibe.
Zyrtec, baby, because it is spring. Yes, I have been doing. We redid like the outdoor. Like, I've had the same furniture. I realized like 13 or 14 years for outside, and it's so small. So now that we have like replaced it, we're like, oh my god, this is amazing! Like, we can all fit on a couch. So
It looks so good from the
so
pictures I've seen.
yeah,
I can't wait to sit
laying
on it
down
myself.
the rugs today.
Oh,
Got new
yeah.
umbrellas, but also life changing. Bought a brick.
The brick.
Bought it. It's fantastic.
Is it as life changing as you expected?
Because it's not as, I just don't grab my phone because I'm like, well, you can't do
Can't do
any of the
anything
things
fun on
that-
it.
There's nothing you can do. And so, yeah, I'm only like a weekend, but like I found that like I had my phone bricked for like 20 something hours one day, and I was like,
Okay, that's good.
oh, okay.
Tell us about like your favorite setting, your favorite time to be bricked out. What's the vibes?
So I've literally just been popping on, going on Instagram, liking things, doing my things, trying not to get sucked in. And then my game, I'll play my game, and I give myself twice a day, but at 5 p.m. it goes into mindful mode, and all of my games and my social media apps just brick.
So what you're telling me is you're present with your family in the evening times.
Yes. And then I've just been like, when I'm writing and I'm sitting around, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Instead of just flopping, I can't flip open my phone. So
And isn't it scary when you realize how many times you instinctively reach to scroll?
And you just, or like you go to it and it's like, you're bricked out. And like, yeah, you're right, I am.
Yeah.
Oops.
The second best thing I ever had to a brick was an app that it was pretty good at locking you out, and you could set custom messages on it whenever you would try to log in. So I would make it say like demeaning things to me. It was like, use your brain, you dumb idiot. And then I'd be like, oh, okay. But then I would still bypass it because I am a dumb idiot, and the brick won't let you. And
there's nothing to be done.
Let me tell you,
I keep mine in the kitchen. So
yes,
so if I'm snuggled in bed, I'm like,
you're too comfy to go get it. I've been bricking myself when I'm at work out of Gmail, so I can't constantly refresh to get query updates. And that's been good for me. Highly recommend. Sponsor us, Brick.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Okay, so
writing
I feel like that was a nice little segue. Look at you. So writing.
Unintentional, yes. Okay, brewing in the writing cauldron. Still querying. I can't see, it's been so long since we recorded, I can't remember if I've had a chance to update the people about where I'm at with queries, but I've had 2 full requests from the cold querying.
Love it.
Waiting on those. I got a very nice personalized rejection yesterday
we'll take it,
which I really appreciate, because she said, good storytelling, strong narrative voice, not sure if she can sell it. And I was like, now that's feedback I know what to do with, because it doesn't make me spiral. For all of y'all, never mind, love you all, agents. Y'all are doing great work. I love it. I love it. And then, as you know, because you read it, I wrote chapter 1 of a new thing, and it's unlocked the ideas again, which has been good. I've kind of been in analysis paralysis mode, and you didn't let me stay there. Thanks so much. So we've gotten out. We're starting a new thing, and we're excited about it.
Excellent.
Whatever form it may take.
Excellent.
And as I'm starting something, you're like finishing something.
I sure hope so.
You sure are.
Yes. So I'm finishing edits on a second manuscript to send back to agent this week. That is the goal. The goal, honestly, is to do it by like tomorrow, unless it needs a lot more work. But Friday is my due date for that, and then my next goal is to finish not the best draft, but a first draft of the next book next week.
And see, that's the way to do it. You've always got like 2 books brewing at once, finishing one, starting another.
Gotta stay busy, because if I were to just think about being on submission,
same with querying, you just spiral.
I would just be I would be in the closet crying. My favorite place to cry.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. So just kind of distract yourself.
I told an agent that rejected me that I cried in the closet.
Like, you told her that as a response to her rejecting you?
Yes.
Tell me more context, please.
So I had somebody from a conference a few years ago. My second fantasy had requested a full at the conference.
Is this the one I'm thinking of? Okay.
And so I had sent it to her, and then she was so responsive and was like, I can't wait to read it. And she was like, she would even check in with me and be like, I know it's been so long, but I want to give my time to this. Like, I want to. And so she rejected me with literally the kindest, most personalized, most everything letter, like more than any, like I would have ever deserved. But because we had kind of forged this little like relationship at the conference, this is another reason you go to conferences. I was able to email her back. Like it was like an open form. And I did. I told her, I was like, well, while I completely understand, I'm not going to lie. There will definitely be some crying in my closet. And she's like, no crying. And I was like,
yes, crying.
So much crying.
We can't help it.
But yeah. And then I think about those things sometimes, and I'm like, that might have been too much information, but whatever. Humanizes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I overshare about the querying process. I'm like, listen, there's humans on the other side of the agent table. There's humans on the other side of the writing table.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
It does.
But I love that you wore your heart on your sleeve.
Well,
speaking of people who wear their heart on their sleeve.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes put their foot in their mouth in the most hilarious way possible.
And wear the best sweater vests.
That's right.
Our next guest is a fan favorite at Workshop. He is an English teacher, a YA author, children's book author, and illustrator. He also recently signed with Lynette Novak at the Seymour Agency, which is a fantastic story that we will absolutely be talking about. So we can't wait to talk to him. So please welcome
Mark die.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, I think we've got a lot of things to talk about.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi,
Great.
Mark.
Yes.
Classic.
I get that a lot.
Listen, we've got a lot of things to talk about, but I feel like we should just start it off with what people are now dying to hear, which is tell us about being chased by an agent after your pitch and being asked to sign with them, because that has to be one of the craziest things that I can think of. Yeah.
It was a trip. So I felt kind of cringy because the Stas interviewed me for the workshop Instagram, and I called it like a fairy. I said fairy tales do come true. I was trying to be ironic, but it was kind of a fairy tale moment. A little bit. I was like, because it doesn't normally happen. I'm in a bit of a unique position because it was the artwork that kind of got the agent interested as an author illustrator. So I actually brought a little brochure handout for her, and so she hadn't really had time to see it in the 8-minute fast pitch. And so for those who don't know, that's how it is. They're 10-minute blocks. You really only have 8 minutes to like say what you want to say, and then 2 minutes to transition. And so I came down. And actually, I was talking to you. You were there for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I came down. It was about 20 minutes later, 2 sessions later, and Lynette Novak from the Seymour Agency, she ran down and grabbed me. She was like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" It's like, "Yeah, I guess so." For a split second, I was like, "Am I in trouble?" Like, I don't know. So
She's
took
like, that pitch was so bad.
right. Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
really just need to give up now. No, she pulled me to the side and she said, "I just had a chance to look through your stuff, and I want to represent you. If I send you a contract today, do you want to sign it?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Did you poop your pants?
No.
Did you?
So,
what did you do? I would have pooped my pants.
It's honestly, it really still hasn't sunk in that it happened. I was convinced. So she did send me a contract that night. I was convinced that she wouldn't, and then she did. And then I was like, "Oh, but she's not gonna actually like respond back that she got it." And then, I signed with her. And then, a week later I was like, "She's not gonna respond to my first email." And then after that, I was like, "Yeah, but now she's really not, like, this really isn't real this time." So I think it probably has like
imposter syndrome.
yeah, it's so terrible.
You're gonna get a book deal and be like, "But no one's gonna read it."
Yeah, but
a bestseller and be like, "But I didn't deserve that." It just keeps going.
It's so bad, y'all. But it was so great.
I have a picture of you and I literally like after she walked away, because we're all like, "What?" And don't worry, that will make it to the Instagram. Yeah. We will have to have that because our faces are just like, what?
Because this is unheard of. Like we've, in terms of like our group anyway, like for someone to chase you down and be like, "Sign with me, please."
Yeah, so it's exciting.
That's a huge deal.
You do hear of a couple authors signed at conferences, but it is pretty rare because most of us have novels. They need to read through it and they need to actually see.
Yeah.
So it's not bad that it doesn't happen because it's, like I said, I was in a bit of a unique position. She could literally just see what I had to offer and enjoyed it.
And so that people can look at the fabulous art that got you signed, what is like your where people can see your stuff?
On Instagram, it's at markdieart. But the best way to go is artbymarker.com.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because I use fine tip markers, and so it's a little play with words.
Well, that's just like the sickest story ever.
The conference thing is interesting because this year when we went, I just kept hearing, because I thought a couple years ago I thought this is really how you need to do it, because you get face-to-face interaction. I made this connection with a guy. I wrote a satire of the public school system, and one of the agents was a former teacher, and so we kind of hugged over it, and it was like this really, I was like, "Oh, this is how you get an agent." But then last year I heard actually really statistically most people are offered representation through cold queries because the work has to be good. It's just like, "Oh, that's okay. Well, I guess." But then I got an agent at the conference. I was like, it can happen either way.
I think there's this idea that once they've met, you're like, "Oh, well, now I'm in. If I've got good work, like now I'm in." But it's still so subjective, even once you've gotten to that point. So I've met some really lovely people who I think probably like me all right and probably don't think I'm a terrible writer, but it wasn't right for them. So it's like agents aren't picking people because they're like friends with you.
That's why I could never be an agent, because I would feel indebted to pick someone just because we had a nice conversation.
Same.
And I wouldn't have the backbone to reject them later. So it kind of goes both ways, where in your way it worked out. Okay, speaking of connections and people who you know, you are like longtime besties with several people from our workshop. So tell us about like how they convinced you to come to workshop, or did you even need to be convinced?
Well, yeah, it's funny because I just listened to the Lauren Danhoff episode. So Lauren Danhoff and Laura Dupay, and then you joined our writing group as well, other Lauren. But I started a writing group about 11 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago, and Lauren Danhoff had come to the conference, as she mentioned on the podcast. So we started with our small group, and then she found out about DFW Writers Conference, or workshop rather, and told us about it. But the first time she went, actually, the first thing I heard about it was really bad. She was like, "Yeah, I went. It's really terrible because they're so negative and critical about stuff." And and so we're like, "Oh, okay. I guess we won't go." And then she came back. What did she say? A year later,
Yeah.
I think. And she probably was in a room with Alex that first time. So that's
scarred immediately.
scarred
Just
her.
call it right.
Uh,
I know the usual suspects.
So, which is funny because you guys talk a lot about the need to hear really critical feedback sometimes. Your writing isn't always precious, and so then she started talking it up. I was like, wait, what? Okay, so I came. Then we finally strong armed Laura to start coming as well, and so yeah, we've known each other since 7th grade in junior high. In fact, we had an amazing English teacher who there were like 4 really close friends at Hearst Junior High. Shout out Red Raiders, and she's
Yeah, right. But I wasn't sure. I was like, it's not for Mark, so I don't know.
She somehow got me, this like dumb kid who didn't read Frankenstein the year before, to somehow get really invested in Dickens and A Tale of Two Cities, which is not a novel I would ever have thought I would have grabbed onto, but she did. And so after that, we did To Kill a Mockingbird together. And so there's this really close knit group. And we still, in fact, I just had my birthday recently, and the 4 of us were there together. And so yeah, it's pretty incredible to have friends for that long.
Yeah, and that you're all writers is so cool.
And do you think this works? This is such a good segue. I couldn't have written it better. Do you think having author friends has motivated you and like continued like you leveling up? Like has that, I feel like that has to have created.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to mention was it's almost insane to think about writing a novel to begin with, but to do it in isolation is even that much more insane. It's like you want this thing to reach a wide audience, but you're afraid to read it to anybody, like a group of 8 people in a room. And so it is incalculably valuable. That was hard to say. To have other friends. And you also kind of hand the baton off as well, because we all go through slumps of our writing, but meeting every month and hearing that you're doing really well, or Lauren Danhoff's written 8 books since we last met a month ago.
Since last week, honestly.
It's like, okay, now, and to be honest, when Lauren got an agent and got a book deal, I was like, oh, okay, I need to get back on the horse. And this is like, this can actually happen. She's the dog that caught the car. And so like, it's possible for us too. So that was a huge kick in the butt.
Okay. So you're an English teacher. How much of that informs your writing? Because he's an insufferable nerd, an insufferable grammar nerd. Like, are you able to remove that kind of like grammatical, structural, academic hat that you wear and dive in like fully creatively, or is it always on in the background?
No, I think I'm able to turn it off. I love grammar, but I'm also feel that it should be descriptive and not prescriptive, meaning the grammar should come after what we do with language, right? We should write the rules to adapt to how we speak. And so I'm never a hard and fast grammarian, follow all of the rules. But that being said, I also write a lot of what I know. So I've written, like I said, a public school satire that was meant to be kind of the catch-22, which is what I sent y'all today. And so a lot of that was still technical, and he's an English teacher, obviously, which is cheating a little bit. I always get tired of reading books by writers where the main character is a writer themselves. I'm like, okay, guys.
I really am egotistical. Right. I love it. I'm like, yeah, something about someone like me. Give it to me.
And then my newer young adult murder mystery is set in a high school as well. But that one is first person, so it was a lot easier to get into this high school kid's voice and get rid of all the grammar stuff. But at the same time, I structured it where all the mystery cases are like teach a English skill as well. So there's still a lot of the nerdiness there. So
okay, so if you believe that grammar should like follow language instead of necessarily the other way around, are you a fan of when like new words get added to the dictionary via the internet. And like, do you have any favorite words that are been added?
Yeah, there's no stopping that. Favorite words though, kind
Like
of all of
brain-rotted
them.
words.
Brain rot is great because it like perfectly describes doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is good too. Just the feeling of rot. I feel like that's a really positive word because it puts such a negative spin on just being on your phone all the time. So that actually is a great candidate.
How many years have you been a teacher?
Since 2009, the 2009 to 10 school year, but I took 3 off to be a stay-at-home dad. So I think I'm in like my 13th or 14th.
Over those years of being a teacher, have you noticed any escalation in like how quickly kids' vernacular changes? Because I feel like it's been more rapid since like TikTok and whatnot.
Yeah. So the one thing I noticed about 5 to 7 years ago is that their culture is so in such short snippets compared to how ours was. Like we had Jurassic Park, we had like entire movies and Home Alone that we had a shared language with. Right, exactly, and pay attention for an hour and a half. But now the kids, they speak in like memes, but they don't even know. Like I'll go do some of the research because I'm a nerd. And I'm like, well, you don't even know where dabbing comes from. It's like this. They're like, oh, no, it's not. Like, yeah, it is. And so they don't even really know what they're talking about. They just have picked up these small, which I don't think is necessarily good or bad, but I have noticed that you're right. It's much faster and it's almost impossible to stay on top of. Like as a teacher, you try to not to be the cool kid, like, hey kids, I know you're, but to at least stay on top of some of it. And it's impossible because it's so fast and there's so much added.
Yeah.
And quickly forgotten too.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was a nerdy question. Thank you for indulging me. Okay. I think before we get into your writing, which I'm so excited to talk about your satire you sent in, your art is super cool. You use all these like geometric shapes and you do hidden pictures. Did you start writing first or did you start art first? How does that relationship work together?
It's funny that it took this long to put my two hands together with that because I've been doing both for a long time. The artwork probably came first because it developed from doing mazes in elementary school. Like even as far back as second or third grade, I remember writing mazes and I realized I could hide my friend's name inside the maze and work the maze around the lettering. And so that slowly evolved in high school into like more like with pointillism and stippling. And so I kind of put those together with the geometry making up the bigger picture as a whole and with a bunch of hidden images that people like to see. And then I've been writing for, like I said, 11 years as well. And so like, why wouldn't I illustrate children's books? Because I found kids really love to look through my stuff and find the hidden pictures. I get a lot of teachers who buy my artwork for their classroom because it gives their kids something to do and like a little activity. And so it is kind of weird that it took me this long to think of it.
But so that's been fairly recent then?
Yeah. So last year's conference, not this last October, but before, was the first year I ever pitched any illustration stuff.
Now you're signed as an agent for that. Yeah. Now that's the Mark Die Whoop effect right there.
Yes.
That's some good stuff. Speaking of good stuff.
Segues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should we read the little synopsis?
I think we should. Is that
Let's do it. And yeah, and what do you think it would win the Gong Show? Because you won the Gong Show last year, right?
I did win a Gong Show. Did I get an agent? No, I sure did not. But did my gong get through?
Did your gong get gonged?
Gonged it?
I got
What's the preterite?
Yeah. So.
Well, did you query that project?
I did to like 2 or 3 agents who like asked and then they said no and I was like, this book is not for me. Goodbye, everyone. And that's the way it goes around. But yeah, as a Gong Show champ, I do think this would get through.
No, I think it's so okay. Well, we're not going to read the full query letter, but we're going to read the like synopsis. So, Schoolhouse Madhouse is the tale of Mr. Green, a first-year teacher gallantly armed with his idealism and work ethic, who blunders into Dale ISD, where the laws of logic and reason hold no sway and threaten to destroy his spirit. It is the kind of place where an elderly teacher can lecture from the hospital bed they've wheeled into her classroom and have her nurses take over teaching when she finally kicks the bucket. It's the kind of place where the new English curriculum proudly waters down the classics into 500-word excerpt bits like Rom 30tron and how do I say that?
Juliet Bott?
A tale of forbidden robot love that teenagers can really relate to. Luckily, Mr. Green finds hope in Lily, his mentor teacher and a veteran of the school. Together, they decide to buck the principal's and the district's mad machinations and asinine policies in order to do what's right for her students, even as it threatens to cost them everything. Dun, dun, dun.
Did we say what genre this is?
Upmarket is where you, yeah.
Adult fiction.
Yes, yeah.
Upmarket satire. Okay, which I have only ever heard you read for context. Like you had a middle school something you were working on. Is that right?
It was supposed to be YA.
YA,
but it has a middle grade voice. I get a lot of middle grade voices.
That's the only thing I've heard you read, actually. So I was interested and excited that, like, oh, some adult fiction from Mr. Mark Dye.
And I realized that I had never heard any of this before, which is crazy.
This first chapter, for the people listening, is about a young teacher going in for his first teaching interview ever, right? Like for his first job.
Yep.
And then he goes into this interview with several people, not just the principal. And it's about being interviewed by these people and us discovering that there might be something strange about this job or this school.
Yeah, each teacher has definitely got their own gravitational pull. They've got their own thing.
May I read your first sentence aloud?
Sure, yeah.
Because it is freaking splendiferous. Okay, y'all listen to this. Young Mr. Green discovered his foot jittering against the floor again while he sat outside the principal's office. Now listen, I had to read that like 3 times because I was so entranced by his foot jittering against the floor. Because I was like, what a voice-tastic way to say that he was just like fidgeting. So right away, the voice, I was like, how freaking scrumptious. I'm obsessed with this voice.
Yay, thank you.
And it stays good throughout the chapter.
It really does. I, for funsies, will go through some of the similes and metaphors, which were a delight. So some of the lines I loved is the glint in his eyes and the duck fluff of his short, neat hair betrayed the vulnerability of a kid straight out of college.
Yeah.
And then it took this I think might be my favorite. It took a moment for Mr. Green to wrench his unwitting eyes from the gravitational pull of Dr. Strix's black hole pupils.
So good.
Yes. And then finally, what else did I put? Oh, a single tired ring corralled purple pools of flesh like a line of sandbags trying to hold back the inevitable flood of unconsciousness. I mean,
also, can I say, I think you taught me a new word because something I underlined and wrote absolutely incredible next to it is you were describing this woman and her hair being pulled back into a bun, but of course that's a boring way to say it. So you said the hoary hair drawn in a tight, sexless bun against her scalp. I've never seen the word hoary. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, hoary.
Okay.
Like wiry, like
I love that.
Yeah.
I've either I'm just dumb or that one's like an underused word.
And
I was like,
okay, so I'm glad that you're complimenting me so much. But the reason this part especially is so good, and this is common in first chapters, right? Because it's the chapter you spend the most time on, right? You like rewrite it and polish. But anyway.
Well, it's important to talk about what you did right also. And we'll talk about like.
But I would argue that this should be the second chapter.
Oh.
Hot take.
Explain why?
I am.
Okay.
So I think that there are far too many characters. They're amazing characters, but I think that because the exact problem that you stated might be the problem, that there's too much satire and we don't know the characterization. Mr. Green, you said he feels a little one-dimensional maybe. It's because we don't know him really. We have these little like isms of him and these little like touches on him. But I think that we're diving so hard into the satire right away that we kind of don't know much about him. We know that he wants this job. We know he's nervous, but I kind of think it's hard to find the trajectory of where he's going. So like, honestly too, first I was like, wait, is this a kid's thing? Because again, I didn't know what like his goal was for it. So I'm just feeling a little distant from him. So I think that if it could be solved super easy is literally just popping a chapter and having a little more interiority from him. And then also, like, we know all those surface things, like I said, but there's an opportunity to think about, like, okay, how did he prepare for this? did he spill coffee on his shirt on the way there? Was he like nice to the lady that cut him off in traffic? Like there's just all kinds of little things that we can learn about him. I even wrote that like maybe he fibbed something on his resume. Is that something that
Mr. Dunn would never?
He wouldn't. You're right.
Yes. And so yes, so that's.
I do really like that suggestion.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that, and when you bring it up, it makes sense because that was one of the main critiques I had. Was also about, if I can just find it, was basically wanting more interiority from Green, and also to feel like he has more agency throughout the process of the people interviewing him, because there's such good narrative voice, but then we get some distance because we're not like in his head to see what he is thinking so much. But to Lauren's point, if there was just a teensy bit more like what was life like before / like what does he hope he gets out of life now going into it, then I could place myself in there a little bit more.
Or if there's just a little bit of like expectation, like is there something riding on this? Is there something this or that? And especially if you give him like a super adult problem too, I think that also grounds it. Because I kept getting Lemony Snicket vibes, which I don't hate at all. Like, in fact, I think that's part of the charm of the voice, was that this kind of like wackadoodle. But I think that there's a really interesting way to end it on the principal talking about that the most important thing for their academics is going to be football. Like, I think there's like, so
Texas.
So I think that there's like a really interesting ride to take people on to then end on that. Cause I think people would then be like, wait a second. I'm sorry, what? I think that's very like flippable.
Yep. That was one of the few other notes I had also, is that you end us on this interesting question and cliffhanger where the interview ends with someone being like, what do you think about football? And Mr. Green, he wants to be an English teacher, is that right? So,
well, just for context, this is just the first 10 pages or 7 pages. It's not the first chapter.
It's not the end of the chapter. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, it's not the end of the chapter, because I'm like, I want some more foreshadowing about the football thing. Not to pivot too much, but I did write down, I feel like you do great humor in writing, and that's something I just admire so much, and I'm always trying to get better at, and I never know how to pinpoint like what makes something funny. I'm curious if you agree about this one part of like why it's funny, but something I took a note of is the principal who's interviewing this teacher is talking, and he says to the teacher, here, this should clear this up. He grabbed a magazine from his desk and slapped it down in front of Mr. Green. The cover story read, the top 100 high schools in Texas, and cleared nothing up. And that just made me laugh, because it felt like the writing was deprecating itself as a tool. Like, how do you think about humor when you're writing? Or is that what that tool is? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of it is it's almost like impossible to have. Like, how do you develop a humorous voice? I don't know. One of the things I did do intentionally was every chapter ends with something like that. So it ends with, it would be the best job of his life. And then the next chapter is Red in Liquor saying, this is going to be the worst job of your life. And so like I did that on like it got almost gimmicky towards the end, and I wasn't sure if it still worked. But
that's so funny.
Right, it's like the bait and switch type thing. So
bait and switch, maybe that's what it is.
All of our trauma makes us witty. I don't know.
Also, the timing on this joke was perfect, because there was another joke you had that had a similar vibe where it was like a setup for a punchline, but I felt like the setup was a little too long, and by the time I got to the punchline, I kind of forgot what the setup was. But yeah, I just noticed like you did the joke timing perfectly right here, and then this one I was like almost perfect, but a little too long.
I did notice that last night. I reread through it, and I was like, oh yeah, it took a while to get.
Yep.
Reading things. Okay, so when's the last time you read this?
Last night was the first time in probably years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was it very difficult to not want to immediately start like was there anything that you were immediately like, oh, I want to, because I just feel like every time I go back to something I haven't seen in a long time, I'm like, click you off, delete you, move you down here. Like, was there any of that, or were you just like?
There was little of that, because this was the one. I feel like I polished this chapter so much, and in fact, I think the writing group got mad at me for I kept asking them to read it and read it.
We're not big fans of that.
The one thing I did notice and didn't enjoy about this was and to your point, that's why your suggestion is pretty good. Is that there's so much going on in this chapter. Like there's five? Is there five other adults? And so it's like I'm giving you this really complicated caricature, and they're all different caricatures as well. And so it's so much going on that I thought.
But I will say this, something that is really hard to do, and I actually didn't know it was hard to do until Leslie Lutz told me it was hard to do. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. Writing scenes with lots of people can be very hard to like balance out like who's talking now and who's doing this and to that note, I think it's all great. Like people are speaking up when they need to. Like I think that is all very balanced and lovely. But
yeah, so you broke the rule, but you did it well, I guess, is what we're saying. Also, was this a nod to when Harry met Sally when Mr. Green?
No, which one?
There's a part where
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Mr. Green says that he wants to bring innovation.
Yeah. So that's one thing I noticed was the fetishizing of new innovative teaching practices. Like we really haven't figured out how to teach kids by now. Like it's not that difficult in principle. Like you engage them, you make it interesting, you make it real, you make them work to, it's like we know. And so, but every year there's like, here, we've really finally figured out this new innovation that's going to transform all of education. I'm
nailed it.
And so I just loved having this character who literally has an orgasm every time she hears the word, right? And like it gets worse throughout the book. Like at one point he says it as she's walking away, and like you see her like falter in the hallway and then write herself. And it's like this just running gag. It's a lot of running gags. Which is why I wanted y'all to read this, because I don't know if it's published. I don't think it's really publishable yet. So my original goal was his character arc was going to be a cardboard character, kind of like Pinocchio, like this cardboard character who becomes a real person by the end. So by the end of it, he gives this like speech about this is ridiculous, and here's what it's basically his disenchantment in a single year with the education system. But I don't know if that works as a character arc.
Well, do you know what he's going to decide to do with that, like, decision or realization? Like, does he be like, I'm going to go pursue my dream job that's not teaching, or is he going to like stick to his guns?
He sticks with teaching, but he leaves the school.
Okay.
Because of all these events that he meets this one other teacher who's like his mentor, and they're the only two real people in this world of insanity.
Right.
And so she ends up, even though she has the best star scores in the district, she ends up getting fired because she didn't meet the school's criteria. But they don't find out that she had the best scores till right after they fire her. And so it's like this, like, how could you fire the best teacher you have, the one good teacher you have? And so he sees that and decides to leave.
I kind of like that. Like, I feel like that's very relatable to readers for whatever industry you're in. Like, you go in all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and then at some point you become cynical. But I feel like the hope that you would be leaving the reader with is like, you can keep doing it your way, and like you don't have to let yourself be fully turned off by all the corruption.
And I think I think keeping him stiffer and buttoned up in the beginning is not necessarily against us getting to know him a little more, but maybe if it's like we're trying to, like, because you're going to try to show him coming out of his shell. I actually kind of like that it's like he's starting, he's seeing the world in black and white, and now he sees it in color. Like it's like this kind of like progression. Like I think that's actually very hopeful and actually very not cynical. So I sort of like that.
Because he is almost 100% autobiographical. Like I really was that naive.
Well, when you mentioned A Tale of Two Cities, right. Because he goes on this long robotic spiel about why he wanted to become a teacher, and it feels like kind of emotionless because there's not much interiority, but you can tell he thought it through a lot. Like he's very methodical about like, well, I experienced this, and therefore I'm going to do similar things as a teacher, and it's going to be great, and I'm going to change people's lives. Because doesn't he say that? Yeah, I'm going to change people's lives.
Of course he is.
My teacher did. Yeah, exactly. And look, you're still a teacher. 13 years later.
I kind of tell you, one of my favorite parts of this book is that I never portray students in it. Like you never see students. It's only the insanity of the teachers and the adults.
I love that. I love reading books about like professions or industries I have no knowledge of, and like feeling like I get to pretend that I am that thing and getting steeped into all the nitty-gritty. Like, I love the concept of living with these kooky teachers
Yeah.
who I can't understand.
Yeah.
He definitely came across like robotic-y, but I think you could add some more interiority without losing that Pinocchio vibe that you're going for. Yeah, like just show us a little bit more what he's thinking, what he's wanting.
Yeah.
But I will say I left it like wanting to read more genuinely.
Yeah.
Because it's so entertaining.
I still am hesitant to be like, you should go back and work on this book again. Because I wonder if you just need to go forward. But
Or try writing another satire, but just like start from something totally different.
Well, this is the interesting thing too. Do you guys feel a need to do one genre, to stick to one genre? Because I think every different. So my first book was a portal fantasy. It was really only like act 1 of 3. They like the ending was they got to the portal and then cliffhanger ending. And then this second book is upmarket satire. My third book is young adult murder mystery. And now I'm doing picture books. So I'm like, I should probably pick I mean, obviously right now it's the author illustrator of picture books. But
do you have one that you enjoy the most?
Yeah, like writing it.
The murder mystery one, just because it's my third novel, so it's actually, I think, publishable. Like it's actually doable.
There's not like you don't enjoy anyone in particular because you love living in that genre or those tropes.
Oh, genre in general? Not necessarily.
I'll tell you, Agent said, and she was. This was when we were talking before we were signing. So she was also like, but I mean, we could always talk about it, which means like, please, I hope you follow my advice. Yeah. But if we need to talk about it, we can. She had said that typically they like to see 5 books in the same genre before branching out.
Yeah.
Which is why I asked what you like, because maybe you have yet to find like your favorite.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the mystery aspect because it is the most structured, and therefore you don't really have to plan it out, because you're forced to plan it out ahead of time with all of the red herrings and here's this and here's the suspect. So then you can just enjoy the writing process after that. It basically forces you to be an outliner and a planner.
You have to plot it because you
so
have
I found the structure really
because
free.
that makes me want to pull my hair out, the thought of that. So if you enjoy that, maybe
So I could maybe do it. I could do more adult mystery.
I don't know. With this voice though, like
there'd be humorous murder mystery. Yeah, where you still keep that satire.
See, I could even see you doing on Benjamin Stevenson on the Brain. Like I could even see you doing that kind of, because it's so.
That seems very you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going places, kid.
Yeah. I mean, with a voice like this, you are going.
You're going places.
I feel like I didn't sing on the podcast. Should I sing something?
We've got rapid fire.
Oh yeah.
I thought we were gonna harmonize.
I didn't know.
Then it must sound like Crossfire. Crossfire. Rapid fire.
Exactly. But okay, so in our rapid fire, they are almost fast, but then we are allowed to give some qualifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So rapid fire question number 1, Mark, what's your favorite children's book?
As a child, the Mix Up Chameleon by Eric Carle. For some reason, just the greens and the colors and the way he did it and the fact that it goes through the rainbow. Great book. But as an adult, I appreciate Where the Wild Things Are. The amount he's able to communicate in, I looked it up, 380 words is like, it's almost one sentence if you read it. It's like one statement about this kid. And they made a movie. They made a full-length feature film that has that much emotional content. So I always found that incredible.
Agreed.
Miss Lady?
I'm going to go with the Olivia books, the Olivia the Pig.
Good stuff.
I knew that she was for me. In one of the books, she goes to a museum and she sees a really abstract art piece and she looks at it and she says to herself, I think I could do that in about 5 minutes. And she gets home and just like starts throwing red paint on the wall. And she's like, look, I'm an abstract artist. And I was like, I see you and I know you. And I love you, Olivia. So that's my favorite.
Okay.
And you?
Mine, I feel like people either love this book or have never heard of it, but mine is The 11th Hour by Graham Base.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
1,000 times yes.
It's literally like the gateway murder, like mystery book.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy's having this elephant is having his birthday party, and somebody steals their feast.
Yeah.
And there's clues throughout the book, and the back of the book was stickered shut so that you couldn't to figure out to read the you had to try to guess it, and there were clues on
Break
all
the
the
seal and
pages
stuff. It's
about
so
who
good.
did it. And the illustrations are gorgeous,
Mm.
and it's so witty, and it's the kind of book you read with a British accent. I love it. And Bo found a copy on eBay for me with the thing still closed, and I was like, well, great. I think you can still buy new copies of it, but I got
awesome.
It's so good. I still remember the power outlet that has the pig snout on it is one of the little anyway.
So good.
Like all of that each spread is like an animal spread, and there's a bunch of little hidden animals
and
in
there's
this
pictures, and there's
codes and
yeah. Okay, I've clearly have health on the brain. What's your go-to fast food restaurant, and what do you order?
Easy. Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Cobb salad with a zesty apple cider vinaigrette, and an additional 8-count nugget entree only. And if I'm feeling splurgy, I get a frosted lemonade.
Yes. Most boring order I've ever heard.
What?
That's the health food is what you just
A salad.
A salad?
Yeah.
That
with
is
an additional 8-count nugget fried.
You dip the nuggets in the sauce at least.
No.
No.
You
I'm a dry nugget. So
here's
a fun fact about me. I've never eaten ketchup on a French fry. I don't like a lot of sauces and stuff like that. Ketchup weirds me out. It's just tomato. It's like vinegary tomato paste. And,
Okay.
no, I don't.
Well, I have no room to judge. I had sardines for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about that another time.
God.
I'm a nasty canned fish girly.
And Cobb salads aren't that healthy. There's full egg in there and bacon bits. And
you said salad, and
okay,
that's all. That's enough for me.
That's all we heard.
I was raised in a Sonic family, and so those are my roots, and I can't deviate from them. And this isn't really so much the order because I'll get whatever, but big fan of mermaid water. Okay, you gotta go get your water.
I haven't heard this. What is it?
Well, it's my specialty. By my specialty, I mean I found it on TikTok. So credits to whoever made this. You got to get your water with your sugar-free lemon. No, your sugar-free peach, your sugar-free raspberry, your real fruit lemon, and your real fruit strawberry. And why are you grimacing at me? It's so good.
Is this a secret menu item where they know what it is at any
No,
Sonic?
if you say mermaid water, they would probably punch you in the face. But you could just order it in the app. Chef's kiss. Love to see it.
It tastes like sort of sweet water.
I think you would like it, Mr. Cobb salad.
I might.
Actually,
my wife got when she went over to England and Ireland. I think they both had it. Half peach tea and half green tea together is really good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm the only person here with a real answer, and I'm a vegan, mind you, is Burger King and Taco Bell, because they have supreme vegan options. You can customize so many things at Taco Bell that you did not know about, and you can add potatoes to anything fresco, and also Cane's fries. I'm a big.
So I was gonna say, if you run unhealthy fast food, Raising Cane's, the box combo, so good.
Delish.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. What's the last one? Let's see. Last question. If you could choose one book to read again for the first time, what would it be?
Have you guys ever read The House of Leaves?
Oh, yes.
By Mark Danielewski? Yeah. It is so weird and trippy. It's a book I would never probably read again because it's such a weird journey, but I would love to read it again. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it 100,000 pages long?
It's a book within a book within a book.
And it's very meta, and it's almost like not concrete poetry. What did E. Cummings write? Abstract.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of the pages, the words are in a spiral, and it's like you're going into the depths of this basically haunted house, haunted by the dark psychology of the family, and it's there's
a part where something's chasing him, and it's literally like doors are in this hallway are closing, so it's like 1, door and you turn the page after another and you turn the page
it's
after.
so
And then
so
like
immersive.
on some pages there's like a block of text and that's it, and it'll be upside down, or you'll have to hold it up to a mirror to read it. Like there's all kinds of
cool.
It's wacky, but I never finished it, so I'm impressed.
I'm one of those weird guys. I can't
His
not
sister
finish
was
a book.
the singer Poe. Do you remember Poe?
No.
Back in the day? Am I the only old one? She was like very like indie artist, and that was that author.
Okay.
His sister was Poe, the singer.
Like the Teletubbies.
Listen, youth, continue.
Oh, no.
What book would you read, child?
Okay. I just mentioned like Twilight for the first time. Sorry, didn't read it. I mean, annoying answer, but East of Eden is my favorite book. And you know, it's just one I think about often, and like
that's a book that I just read it on a whim. Like nobody ever recommended it to me.
What?
I've never been a huge Steinbeck fan. And then I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. To the point. And then you read, have you ever done the Dogman books?
No.
Okay, so Dogman has a reference to it. Like in order to fix ADHD, he's got a paper in him that says, what is it? Thou shalt versus thou mayest. And so it says thou shalt and they replace it with thou mayest. I'm like, holy crap, Dogman just like referenced the most profound, one of the most profound books I've ever read.
Well, that's the thing.
It's really
like
good.
The reveal / the like conclusion it comes to. Reading that for the first time again would be which I can't. But you got to get on that, girl.
It's like it has to be Steinbeck's best book in my opinion, because most of his others are
I don't really know.
They're more straightforward, and this one is so profound and
you honestly don't need to read any other Steinbeck books. Like after I read that, I was like, I'm good. I read some of his like memoirish one that's called like something with Charlie, which is his dog's name or whatever. And
Travels with Charlie.
Travels with Charlie. That was kind of good because it was like short snippets, but you don't need to read anything else. That's his masterpiece.
That's actually come under a little bit of scrutiny because apparently he didn't really do the whole trip in one go, and I think he made up some. I don't know, but
I mean,
it's whatever.
We're writers.
Yeah, right. We make stuff up. It's what we do.
Embellish a little. I had a really hard time thinking of this, and I was like, I had these really like lame ones come into my head, and then I was like, okay, what's a book when somebody tells me they're getting ready to read it, I get like gleeful about? And one of those books is Circe by Madeline Miller. I literally get like a little, it's like a little tingle. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you because it's just magical. And I think for mothers or anybody who like her depiction of motherhood is just.
Is it a reference to the Odyssey?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it like a retelling or is it just an illusion?
Did you ever read Song of Achilles?
No.
Okay, so it's the same thing, but she takes these very famous stories and kind of humanizes these people and tells this other story. So it's about her getting banished to the island after she helps Prometheus. And it's all of her stories, but just the way she tells it, there's just this very lyrical, beautiful, but somehow not pretentious voice to it. And it's just funny as hell. And it's just so good. It's really good.
And you mentioned Furious Hours on the podcast earlier and did not name check me because I was the one who recommended it, right?
Did I not tell you that? Did I not at least say that one of my it's always what I tell people when I tell people about that book because I love Furious Hours. I always say that 3 of my smartest friends were all telling me about it, and Mark did give me the book. And
I think I was the first out of the 3 of us. I
believe you. I mean, you're obviously the smartest of all of them.
What's the Furious Hours pitch? I'm not familiar.
Oh, we talked about it's the
Harper Lee.
Oh, that one. That one. Okay.
Yes. So good.
It's on my PPR.
It's tremendous. Everybody in my book club really enjoyed it.
You have to go read East of Eden, and then me and Mark need to go order something al fresco at Taco Bell.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Then we'll
compromise.
That's a good. I like that trade. That's a really even trade.
You read a long book. We'll sit on our butts and eat.
Who says I'm not going to eat the fast food whilst reading?
All over. You can borrow my coffee.
Today's episode sponsored by
Taco Bell al fresco.
Woo! You can eat it if you're vegan.
That's the jingle. And also sponsored by sauceless nuggets. You weirdo.
Dry
nuggets.
Ooh.
Code DRY for 10%
I am
off Chick-fil-A.
Because the fries are so, like, French fries are too. They're the salt and the potato. That's all you need. They're perfect as they are.
Here's the thing. I'm not a ketchup person either. I would so much rather make like a little burger sauce or like do something with like, I like to do
fries and mayo.
Rocco, that is his favorite. I will do a mix of mayo, spicy barbecue sauce, mustard, and a little bit of pickle juice. And I make my own burger sauce.
Okay,
It's delicious.
I do enjoy the honey roasted barbecue at Chick-fil-A. I will sometimes do that with my nuggets.
Well, getting crazy. Everyone.
But that's like a special day.
Yeah. That's like birthdays only.
When you signed
birthday and Christmas.
Did you go get some sauce?
Yeah, I gotta act normal. I'm like eating ketchup just to prove I'm a human.
Like, it's fine. Where's the paper? Let me sign.
So if we ever see Mark just go into town with some sauce, call.
Yeah, something is amiss. Something is amiss.
Well,
wow.
What a way to end.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me, ladies.
Thanks for being here. And until next time, we always tell the peeps to have a happy writing session. Would you like to tell the peeps happy writing on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Happy writing!
Thank you so much for listening to Witches of Workshop. Be sure to find us every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, if you want to be featured on Witches of Workshop, please send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com.
Until then,
Happy writing.